Harriett Baldwin MP.
Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker, and I rise to speak to new clause 14 and amendments 14B and 14A, and I was honoured to follow the speech from the member for Rochdale, but also want to thank the member for Spen Valley for working closely on this issue of banning advertising, because whatever your views are in terms of assisting terminally ill adults to end their lives, and I remain implacably against the potential harms that arise when our society and our imperfect state is given permission to help people kill themselves. I have to acknowledge that there was a majority at second reading in favour of this bill and a majority in terms of closing down debate the last time we had report stage. And so thinking ahead to the possibility that this bill might go on the statute books, I hope everyone participating in this debate will recognise that we should not allow the services of the organisations that will arise to provide this service to advertise on television, online, on posters, on TikTok, on any platform that our constituents may be seeing. And I think we can all imagine a scenario where if this bill passes and the House doesn't agree to new clause 14, that the independent contractors, the not-for-profit firms, perhaps even the NHS itself, will be able to advertise to potential customers, for example, on afternoon television. Can you imagine a situation, Madam Deputy Speaker, you're sitting watching a repeat episode of One Foot in the Grave and an advert runs for a funeral plan company, and then it's followed by an organisation that's offering to provide the services to make it easier for you to have an assisted death. You may think that I am painting a situation that is only hypothetical, but in fact we've seen in Belgium that the government itself is running online adverts featuring young, healthy women at a yoga class talking about how they're worried about Granny's situation and asking if they've considered telling her about the option of assisted dying. So I'm very grateful to the Honourable Lady for tabling her new clause 14. I don't think it's perfect, but she and I had a lot of discussion about the wording, and I do also support the intention behind Amendment A and B to new clause 14, because I think it is important, and we've heard ministers, and I hope they will again today, confirm that encouraging assisted dying under this bill remains a crime under Section 2 of the Suicide Act. However, it does require showing intent to encourage, whereas adverts themselves might be framed so that they're not so intended. So it is right that there's a specific provision on advertising needed in this legislation. I am also concerned about, in the unamended new clause 14, about the scope of some of the exceptions. I'm grateful that, for example, in subclause 2 doesn't refer to potential service users, but there's nothing that prevents the Secretary of State with the Henry VIII powers from exercising the power to exempt them. So doing so would negate the point of the prohibition. So I'd be grateful if the Minister would confirm that the power will not be exercised to create exceptions for adverts that are targeted at potential service users. And it's absolutely the case that, as the member for Rochdale mentioned, there are a number of advert bans already in existence on the face of legislation. For example, the Cancer Act, the Surrogacy Act and the Tobacco Advertising and Promotion Act. And they are set out clearly on the face of the bill. So I hope this can be resolved. I hope the House today will support at a minimum the new clause 14 proposed by the proposer of the bill. I hope that the House will also support the strengthening amendment, which I endorse. And I hope that ministers will confirm that these powers would never be used to create an exemption to Section 2 of the Suicide Act in order to partially allow encouragement of assisted dying, as I think it would defeat the whole point of the provision.